What's up, superhero growth hackers? So today we're going to review Hoverify. This is a tool basically for web developers. So I personally am not a web developer, but I know many of you listening to this are, or you hire a lot of web developers. And as you know, web development can be tricky, especially if they don't have the right tools. So I do believe this is one of the best tools on the market for the price. It is currently on AppSumo. We will review that shortly. But basically, the way that I use this for development work is I just get this tool and then I give it to my developers, and they're able to shortcut their development time. So I will pass it off to my developer shortly to give you guys a review. And yeah, I'll just review this from a non-developer standpoint to start. So Verify currently, again, on AppSumo, lifetime deal, $49. Whenever you see 5 stars, you have to take a look at it because there's probably something that is useful for your business in terms of productivity. And you guys know, as founders that are listening to this, anytime you can save a little bit on productivity, time is literally money. So for $49 for a lifetime deal, you can get it for your developers. You're going to be saving a lot in the long run, in my opinion. So I would definitely pick up this deal. If you don't want to watch the rest of this video, do check it out yourself. So again, lifetime deal. I don't believe it's oh yeah, it is stackable. Each stack gets you an additional 3 browsers. So one thing that you want to know is developers sometimes use multiple browsers, and thus for testing, you probably want to get two or 3 of these just to stack it up. But in my case, I only just got one. I think it was useful enough for me. For my purposes. So quickly, you want to take a look at the questions, make sure that they're answering it. So on October 17th, somebody did answer this, but they decided to contact the support. Here, they did answer it as well. This one took 5 days. This one took about 7 days, which is not the best response times, but at least they are responding. Let's take a look at the reviews. Again, perfect reviews. And based on my initial look at this, it definitely was worth the money. So again, let's take a look at it. Here it says it's a browser extension for web development. So that's cool. You can check out the video. Yeah, I love the layout of this. This is a lot of different things. Personally, I don't understand this so much. If I were this company, I would create another landing page specifically for founders that hire developers and tailor it for them in a way that's not so technical. And yeah, I think maybe we can help them out with their growth hacking if they're listening to this. But yeah, it's really good, especially if you're a developer. You're going to know instantly. When I ran this by my web developer, he said it's an amazing tool right off the bat, and that he would definitely find a lot of uses for this. So that's great. Let's take a look at how it works. So once you install the plugin, let's take a look at a website here. This is one of my companies. So here, just quickly, again, you can do inspection, color eyedropper, which I actually use a lot. I actually have a separate tool for this, so I guess I can remove that tool. Assets, response, debug, built with, and capture. Built with is basically if you want to find out if this was built in Shopify, which it was. Let's just try it. Again, this is a very non-technical review for you founders out there. So this is on Cloudflare, Shopify. You can see Canada. Yeah, it's got some amazing stuff. Wow, it even shows you the entire tech stack. So this is a quick way to take a look at, say you have a favorite website and you don't know how they built it. You can literally just come in here and jack all of their tools. That alone for me would be worth $49 a year, to be honest. Okay, so they have obviously many different things like responsiveness. You can see how it'll look on the different devices, and I'm sure they update this regularly. Let's see, why is it not showing? Oh, you have to type a URL here. So let's go scarflinks.com. That's weird. You would think it would automatically do it based on the website that I was on. So that could be improved. And as a developer working with so many different platforms, it's a little bit hard. So this is a quick, easy visual way to see what it will look like. And they have so many different devices, which is great. They even have it on iPad here. A little bit of a lag loading it. I guess there's a lot of resources taken for this. You can even flip it to landscape mode and see what it'll look like on there. Yeah, so this is really cool. For development, obviously that is also an amazing tool that would be worth it. It does take a lot of resources there. You can see there's a little bit of a lag, but that's bound to be. Okay, we're back after that loading. So here you can inspect different elements. So if you're curious, again, probably not so much for non-technical people, but again, for a developer to be able to hover over different elements, to be able to see the code within each element. And then one of the best things, again, you'll see this in the video of my review, developers, that you can click and keep it sticky. Whereas, as a developer, if you use the developer tools built into the Chrome browser, it only shows one at a time. So in this case, you can easily compare different elements on the website. Okay. So there's tons of features. I'm not going to go into them all. Let's see. So yeah, you can capture the screen. The color eyedropper is pretty cool. Let's see. I guess you have to close that other tool, and we'll go to the color eyedropper. And how does this work? Color eyedropper, pick a color. So let's pick this orange. Boom. Okay, great. It saves it. I can do even more. I like that it freezes it and you can do multiple ones at once. This is super valuable because most tools that I've seen on the market, the window will close. So that alone is an amazing feature that probably separates itself from many other things. Again, you can capture parts of the screen, and let's just see where it saves it. Okay, one thing about this tool is it doesn't automatically close the other one. So here I selected capture. Okay, there we go. Now it's working. So you can do the full page, selected area, all tabs, or a visible part. Let's try visible part because I don't know what it does. Oh, okay. That's cool. You can save it as a PDF or save it as a zip. Okay, so this is weird. Again, the color picker is still on here. How do I turn off the color picker now? Maybe I just hit escape. Yeah, you just have to hit escape. So that's not the most intuitive. But again, look at all the tools. If I go to the settings, you can turn some of these off if you don't use them. That's awesome. Okay, I'll pass it off to my developer to show you the rest in the more technical, nerdy terms.
Hi everyone, how's it going? My name is Arnes and I'm Superhero Growth Ninjas developer. We've been working on a project recently and he invited me to an app called Hoverify. This app is honestly very impressive and especially for the price of $30 a year, which you can see right here. So I'm going to give my honest review and I will just explain how some of the stuff works and I will show the actual use of it on GitHub. So these are kind of like the main elements, which is the inspector, the color eyedropper, what it's built with. I mean, the website you're examining, responsiveness, assets. You can take screenshots as well, and you can debug the website. So it comes in it's an extension, which you can see right here at the top. These are all the elements which are shown right here. So if we go over to GitHub, for example, as you can see right here, if I click on this and then if I click on inspect, I will get a bunch of more elements. So the thing, I mean, in the name itself, it says hoverify, which means once you hover over an element, it will show you the whole code, how it's built. It will, for example, if we check right here, we can see the CSS for it. We can see the width and the height, the color, everything. But the more interesting thing is we click on this tab freezes. So we can just scroll down. It also shows responsiveness. For example, media min width 760 pixels, which is mobile. And just pretty much examine the whole CSS. And yes, if we, for example, if we want to also look at how this button is built, we can just click on that and that freezes as well. And it says the class with height and gives us the CSS as well. Um, that is one of the most useful, I would say, part of this, but there is a lot more. So what we can do is we can check, for example, the alignment. So as you can see on the left side, there's a, we click on this, so we can see there is dotted lines, and that's pretty much kind of the margin and the padding and stuff. and we can still click on this and just examine pretty much every single part that went into building this input. We can see that it says input right here. We can disable that. We can also check grids. So you see um, this has a grid. Once you hover over it, actual grid will become not a dotted line anymore. It will be a full line, and so that's also one of the parts. We have visual padding. So this is pretty much what you see are the blue diagonal lines. That's padding, and the text has bottom padding, and pretty much all of that. We can know what font is used on the whole website. For example, as you see here, input, and it says Apple system. These are all, and this is pretty much an input. So it's using one of these fonts right here, they're shown right here. Then we can edit content elements. So for example, if I want, this says let's build from here. If I wanted to add from here on out, I can do that. And so that's pretty much what we can also do. We can also copy this and then place it down here. But it just now it's just disappearing. So yeah, we can disable that. And then of course once we refresh the website, everything goes back to normal. Um, this is why it started disappearing, because it was that's how the normal text is built. Then we have the color palette, which shows us all the colors that are used. We can remove an element. Then we can search from for every single element of the whole page. We can add custom CSS, custom JavaScript. That's kind of only the beginning. We also have color eyedropper, which is pretty much lets us pick any color, and if once you click it freezes. That's also very useful. You can check all the images that are used, download them. Um, we can check for responsiveness. So we can see on different devices how it would look. And we also have we can debug the website, and this is also pretty important. We can check what it's built with, where it's hosting, if it has SSL, and a lot of more techy stuff. And um, you can also just we can screenshot the whole page and or just a selected area and similar. So now some of you may think, how can this be useful when you can pretty much do the whole thing to inspect? Uh, First thing, it has many more options, like a lot more options than inspect. It's also all in an extension, and it also the one of the like main things is how it freezes, right? So if we click inspect, click here, freezes here. For inspect, if I inspect, for example, this, it's going to highlight it for me. But then if I inspect this, the same tab will open and it will highlight something else. But if I just click on it, freezes, right? So I can have I can expect multiple things. Why this can also be very useful for developers is, for example, um, Mike hired me only because I filmed a video for him and I edited his website through inspect, because if I can fix a problem through inspect, I can also fix it behind the scenes in the code, and that's one of the uses for it. You can show someone that you know how to solve a problem on their website through inspect, and this web can really help you out with that. And it is also very useful. For example, how I'm a Shopify developer. A lot of people will try to will change from example from WordPress and WooCommerce will move to Shopify or from Webflow to Shopify. So I can always just inspect certain items with this tool and just it will have easier access to classes, to CSS, and it will be easier for me to move it to a different website. So I personally think that the extension is very, very useful. I think it's probably one of the best extensions a developer could get, and I definitely recommend it. That's all I have really for this review. Um, I hope you learned something new and maybe even decided to purchase the extension. But I just know that I'm very happy that I got the access to it. Thanks for your attention. Have a great rest of your day.